Welcome to this week's video. This is an exciting one. We're taking the Volvo XC70 on a 3,000 mile road trip, and that doesn't even count all the off-roading that we did. We stopped in Salt Lake City to see a Sum 41 concert, then headed down to Zion to hike the Narrows, then over to Arches to, well, see some arches as well as do that off-roading I talked about. This video is part 1 of 2. The next video will be out next week if you're watching this when it was released. The car did great, but did give us a little bit of drama. Before all of that, we needed to get packed and get out of here. We are actually not at home right now. We are at a different family's property, and we are here because we just finished the Bowron Lake canoe circuit, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But now we are ready to get going on Zion, Arches, and Salt Lake City. Since we've been doing the canoe trip for the past week, we didn't have any consumables from home, so we had to stop by Fred Meyer's for some food, beer, and ice. And then we had to stop by an auto parts store to grab some power steering fluid because, well, if you watched my other videos, you know that this thing's got a huge leak and that we decided to road trip it anyways. Well, we made it to our campground. It's more of a parking lot with some spots to camp, and it cost us a whole $20, but we are going to stay here for the night. It's about 9 o'clock. We're probably going to enjoy a cold one and a few games of cards, and then call it a night. Get up early tomorrow. We're going to try to hit, I think, 3 or 4 watchtowers, and then camp at about 7,300 feet tomorrow. Let's see how it is. Bright, crisp, wildly drinkable. I would concur. Don't mind our excellent card table tonight. It's a little dirty because this did go on the canoe trip with us. Leah's got a classic, a Hot Valley Citrus Mistress. We got a little variety pack because we like their beers, and there was one new one in there. That'll be some nice white noise. I think I might be driving through the campground. I just went out. Thea had this many cards left. I scored 282 points, which brought me to exactly 500. If that isn't skill, or more luck, but still, it's impressive. Well, that's it for tonight. We're gonna get as good a rest as we can with the train blasting by every few hours. Tomorrow I hit those 3 watchtowers and end somewhere outside of Boise around 7,300 feet. Good night. Just a trip to the tree. Morning. It's time to get back on the road. About 7:30. We have about 9 hours of driving today. That does not include stops, though. Today's part of a healthy breakfast is a Power Crunch Pro because we had it left over from the canoe trip, and this one has been severely smashed. And I've got myself a Monster Ultra Rosa because this is what was on sale at Fred Meyer's yesterday. We have a development. We didn't see this coming, but the check engine light has come on the Volvo. I really need to throw the code scanner into my mobile toolkit, but we'll find an auto parts store and get that checked. Alright, so our code is a P0027. I'm going to do some research while Leah takes the wheel for a little bit. We're going to fuel up and then get back on the road though, because it doesn't seem critical or anything. It probably just is down a little power. So in my research, as we were driving to that gas station, people were saying stuff like it might mean you've gone a little far between oil changes and such. And so while Leah was filling it up, I checked the oil and we are actually low. Well, that O'Reilly's was not price match, so we are off to Walmart. Shout out to that specific O'Reilly's for not price matching. Well, we got the oil, we topped off the car. The engine light is gone for now, so I'm thinking it's pretty likely that was the issue. We'll just have to keep on top of that. We're just going to stop by Safeway because we forgot to grab any sort of lunch at Walmart and grab probably a sandwich from the deli or something. Lunch is served. Alright, finally, all the side quests for the day are done, I promise, I hope. And we are on the way to the first watchtower, which is about a half hour away. Well, I thought this was just off the freeway, but we are already doing a little bit of off-roading. the road was a dead end to motor vehicles, so we are going to turn around, head back to town, and hop on I-84, go down a few exits, and hopefully we can reach it from that location instead. What are you doing? Hey guys, could you quit your spat so we can drive past? They don't care. Y'all, excuse me. Joel. Oh, they're still going at it. Oh gosh. Oh. Dead end, private property access only. I'm gonna pull off the road and then I'm gonna throw the drone up in the air and see if we can at least get a secondhand look at this thing. Well, I would call that a success. There's not much we can do about private property, but we did see it, we got it on video. We aren't gonna be able to make it to every single watchtower in person, and I'm gonna call that good enough for this one. So now we've got about a 2.5 hour drive to our next watchtower, which is pretty close to Boise, Idaho. And after that, we'll be heading to camp, which happens to be right next to another watchtower. Well, as you might be able to see out my left window, the watchtower is right over there. I don't know if there's any way for us to drive to it. I think it's on US land, but the roads to it look to be a little private-y, even if it's US land. At the very least, we've seen it, and I'll set up the drone if we can't get any closer. It's a really cool looking tower. It's huge. So this would be our way in, but area beyond this is closed, so while the US government does own this, it is essentially private property, unfortunately. So let's go park alongside the road and take some photos of it. All right, well, that one is complete. We're gonna get back on the road here towards our camping destination for the night. We got about an 1.5 hour drive according to Google, and I believe we're gonna gain like 5,000 feet of elevation in this 47 miles, so that should be a really fun drive, and most of that is in the last 20 as well. Hit the gravel, or rather the dirt. We've got about 3 miles to go. Well, as you can see from the drone footage, it does sort of look like there's a road up there. It's too late tonight, but maybe tomorrow in the morning, if we have enough time, we'll try and run up there and get a little closer. I kind of expect there's going to be a gate with all those cell towers up there, but you never know. For tonight, we get to enjoy this little view window out of our campsite, and we're going to make dinner here really quick. But more importantly, last night I mentioned we got a variety pack of Hop Valley, and this is their West Co. And it's a West Coast IPA, as you might have guessed. And I haven't seen it before, and it was only available in that variety pack, which of course is how they get you. That's good. Ooh, I like the finish. I'll be honest, I wasn't entirely feeling it at first, and then I don't know how to explain it. I'm no connoisseur, but I do like the finish. So tonight I'm having some chili lime ramen. Leah's having some teriyaki beef chow mein, and we're having some cucumbers with this new flavor of tahine that we happened to spot. This is what we really like to use on our cucumbers, but we've never seen habanero before, so this should be pretty tasty. Leah's got a passion orange guava cider from Portland Cider Co. She says it's excellent. Let's see. That is pretty good. I don't really like sweet ciders, but that one has like a tasteful amount of flavoring added to it.
Tastes like apple.
Yeah, it tastes like apple with a little bit of flavoring. Yeah, let's see how this is. For now, it's still just tahine. Oh, there's the kick. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back to normal tahine. I think the normal tahine is 1 flame out of 4, and this is 3 flames out of 4. If you liked the tahine review, we will have another flavor coming up in future. Now, it seems like it's boiling. Ouch, shit. Where's the fill line? Oh, I see it. I don't know if you made enough water. We're gonna find out. Ooh, that's pretty good. Leah estimated the water this time, and this is all we've got left.
All right, I'll admit the habanero tahini does make it harder to chain eat the cucumbers. I could eat like 2 whole cucumbers at once, but this is gonna make it a little more difficult. Oh my God, the first ingredient is habanero peppers. Ah yes, that is food. No, I mean, it's pretty good, it's ramen. All right, we gotta go put all this stuff away since we're in bear country still, and we don't have a bear bin. Recently, we completed the Bowron Lake canoe circuit up in Canada. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. We had to get some Canadian exclusive chips and cookies. For our chips tonight, we of course have All Dressed, and they're from Old Dutch, and they're called Ridgies, which is gotta be the most Canadian name I could think of. And for our cookies, we just have some Celebration. We don't get these in America. They're cappuccino truffles. Yeah, those are good. All Dressed is the best flavor. Probably partially just because we can't have them. And I mean, I'll have one of these and I'll tell you how it is, but it's hard to go wrong with chocolate and a cookie. Yep, it's really good, but it is something we cannot get in America. Well, that's it for our day on the road with a couple of fun side stops. Seeing the watchtowers was cool, even if we couldn't get up close to them. We're not staying up too late tonight. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to try and get up probably around 7. That's it for us for tonight, though. See you tomorrow morning. Good night. Today's part of a healthy breakfast is a leftover protein bar from the Bowron Lake circuit. It looks like it's been run over, and a Monster White because again, it was cheap. We're gonna try and head up to the top of the tower. I don't think civilians, like normal people, are allowed to drive up there. So I think I'm gonna put this watchtower into a different folder. That's Watchtowers I could come back to later, because I did see it and I did stop by it. I recorded it, but I didn't actually get as close as I could to it. That gate up there was our last opportunity to get up to the top of the mountain by vehicle. So we've got about 6 hours to Salt Lake City, and we'll probably just hammer that out really quick with no drama. Knock on some fake wood trim. We are approaching my friend's house where we're gonna stay for the night. And tomorrow we're going to see Sum 41 here in Salt Lake City. We had to stop at Winco before we got to my friend's house to grab a few more supplies that we forgot. We had a great night catching up with my friend, and then we got up pretty early the next morning to head into Salt Lake to see the sights before the Sum concert that night. But we couldn't enjoy Salt Lake City before I drove on the tram line, right? I made a split-second decision based upon the fact that cars wouldn't share the lane with the bikes, right? That just wouldn't make any sense. But I digress. I quickly merged out of it at the next opportunity, and nothing was lost. I'm sure the people saw the Washington plates and just figured I was from out of town. We enjoyed some coffee at a lovely little coffee shop downtown, and then wandered around a little bit, went to a park that I visited last time I was here. Unfortunately, it was under construction, so it wasn't really all that poppin'. And then we did some brief research and found there's a Land Cruiser museum here in Salt Lake. So we, of course, had to go to that, and I spent probably an hour, maybe 2 hours there looking over the cars and reading every single plaque, and it was really interesting and really well done. What I mean by it being really well done is the plaques were very informative and well written. For example, this one talks about this vehicle and says that it's a very well preserved survivor and it's had 2 owners for the first 53 years. It was very interesting to me to learn about these old cars and their history. I found that very enjoyable. We took public transit out to this nice brewery that was in town called Level Crossing. Of course, I love the name, and also the vibes there were just immaculate. I feel like if I lived in Salt Lake, I'd probably be going here pretty often. The pizza was great as well, and after that, we rode the transit right back to the Sum 41 concert. It was a fairly interesting venue. It was just in a parking lot, which was cool until my feet started hurting about halfway through the concert, but it was still a really great concert. Our campsite here tonight is a little bit of a crappy one. It isn't perfect, but it will suffice for rest tonight. I've checked the map multiple times, and we do appear to be on public land, so we shouldn't be doing anything wrong by sleeping here, except maybe disturbing a few cows. That's it for us today. Good night. We got to Zion no problem, sat in a little bit of traffic, and then got our tent set up. After enjoying the visitor center, we hopped on a bus to give the Emerald Pools a visit, before spending the rest of our evening relaxing, recovering, and preparing for hiking the Narrows tomorrow. We're going to take a little bit of a breather tonight. It's about 5:40, so we're just going to relax until around 9:30 or 10, and it'll be time for bed, because we've got to get up around 4:30 or 5 in the morning. It is mid-90s here, but that's about 10 degrees cooler than it's been when I've been here in the past, so I'm not complaining too much. For dinner, we're having some wieners fried up because it's too hot for us to want to start a fire, not to mention purchasing the wood. We did try our other new flavor of tahine, which is called tahine twist, and it is sweet and spicy. I'm generally not a fan of sweet and spicy things, but it was okay. Our Canadian chip for the evening was spicy salt and vinegar, which was way too sweet for me, and as you just heard me say, I'm not a huge fan of that. After we eaten dinner and cleaned up, this time for the chipmunks, not the bears, we decided to sit down and play some cards, but it was too windy, so we just watched some YouTube that I had downloaded instead. We were pretty tired. Alright, it's 9 o'clock, and let me check my watch. Really hot out still. We're gonna try and get as much sleep as we can tonight. Good night. I missed our first bus at 6 a.m. It's about 6:15 now, so we're not going to be too far behind. We got the headlamps because it is still dark out, but we're hoping by the time we ride the bus up there and walk on the paved trail, it'll actually be sun rising. Words are hard, it's early. Let's go get in line for the bus.
And you go. Keep going. I don't want to be standing in the water. Yep.
Oh, this place gives me pain and I'll sad and cry. Got this void in my chest.
we've got no idea what time it is because none of us brought a watch or a phone, but I think we might stop here and then decide if we want to continue. I think we really got through the narrow part, but I mean, this trail is still just incredibly cool.
We did end up turning around at this big rock here that you see me climbing off of and heading back.
I'm on a rock. Oh, that's a little chilly on bare skin.
We got all the narrows unscathed. For lunch, we're just having last night's leftovers, some cold hot dogs and the chips and some grapes. We're gonna get on the road to Arches, about a 5-hour drive till we hit dirt, and then we gotta find a place to camp on BLM land. Better get on the road. Just stopped to top off the tank and pick up some local ice and some local beer. Yes, I did say local ice. We got about 37 minutes until we hit dirt, and then we're going to be looking for a campsite. It's about 6:15, and we're hoping to get somewhere before dark. We have reached our camp for the night. There's 5 sites in this little area here, and you can only camp at designated sites in this area, so we really needed to find one, and thankfully we did. We're in site 2, 1 is over there, it's occupied, 3 is over there, it's occupied, 4 and 5 and any others, I don't think this car could have gotten to them, so it's a good thing that 2 is open. We're gonna get our stuff set up. We are toasted today after getting up at like 5 a.m., walking the Narrows for the first half of the day, and then driving 5 or 6 hours. We are ready for some R&R. We are not gonna set an alarm tomorrow because the only goal is to have some fun off-roading, which I mean, we've already gotten started on that, and to get our fiery furnace permit in Arches, which we just need to stop at the visitor center for that. This is such a cool campsite. If you ever go to Arches and are not off-roading, really try to get a campsite in Devil's Garden Campground. It is very similar to this. You are like camping amongst the scenery, amongst what you're there to see. Here, let me show you. Like, we're right up against these rocks right here. But if you aren't off-roading, Devil's Garden Campground does actually provide just about the same experience. Tonight we're having one of our easy camp favorites, some ramen. And here's one of those 4 local beers I picked up. This is from Moab Brewing Company. It's Johnny's American IPA. I can't really say I'm a fan of their packaging, but let's see if their beer makes up for it. That's a little different. I do like that. I don't hate their packaging. It's just, it looks kind of generic. I don't know. I guess they put all their money into the beer, not the packaging, which is fine. This is not enough water, I don't think. Tonight, Leah's having some chicken chow mein. I'm having some hot and spicy chili lime ramen. I think that might be exactly the same as what we had last time, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How hard are the lawn chairs to get to? They're a little easier. Oh, shit, did we leave them? Huh. They'll be in the free bin at Watchman Campground. Hopefully someone can get some use out of them because we aren't going back there. That is unfortunate. I guess that's what happens when you pack up while it's still dark out. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, son of a bitch. Your chow mein might not be edible. I set it on the stove. Well, it's burnt plastic. You can't eat that. Looks like she'll be having shin noodles instead. Man, I'm looking forward to sleeping in tomorrow. Tonight we're doing habanero tahini again, which was my preferred of the two, of course. All right, note to self, don't set any of this stuff on the hot burner. Oh, I almost just did it too. This is the Portland Cider Co. Abbey Apple. Seems like just their de facto cider. And we've had these before to this trip and they have been very enjoyable. Yeah, I really like those. They say it's a juicy and bright Belgian-inspired Northwest apple cider. Even though we didn't get a huge sunset tonight, we do have quite a pretty view here. You can see the moon peeking over the top of that canyon over there, and then just a beautiful night sky, evening sky over that way. One thing I really liked about this variety pack that I didn't mention when I cracked this open is that it's a little different from a lot of the variety packs you see. It had an IPA, a Pilsner, Pale Ale, and a Mexican style beer. So it had like a lot of variety, and that's just really great for me. So I'm glad to see if I like the others as much as I like this one. Tonight we have yet another snack that we don't have in America from Canada. Caramel milk chocolate coated wafer biscuits. I am a sucker for wafer biscuits, as they call them here, or wafer cookies, I think as we call them in America. We'll see if I like these, and we'll see if they survived 95-degree heat. They're completely fine, it would seem. They are not very crispy. I don't know. I'm not eager to eat a lot more of these. So for my second and final beer of the night, I'm gonna have the Mexican from that variety pack. This one has a really different can, so it makes me think it's kind of a timed exclusive or something like that. Moab Especial. Let's crack this open and see if it's any good. I imagine it will be. It doesn't really give those typical like Corona or Modelo vibes that I was really expecting, but of course it's really good. We're gonna kill the flashlight now, probably enjoy some YouTube I have downloaded together, and then hit the sack. We are ready for that, that's for sure. It is about, my watch is dead o'clock and we're going to bed. Like I said, we're not going to set an alarm. We're going to finish this off-road trail and then we're going to do another one. And then we are going to get our pass for the fiery furnace for the next day. Good night. I was just trying to record an outro. I ran into a trash panda. But anyways, that's it for part one, so I hope you enjoyed it. Next week there's gonna be a lot more off-roading, and I cannot believe where this Volvo got us to. If you wanna see that, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you like what you saw in this video, hit the like button. And if you have any suggestions or just wanna share the stoke, leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week. We have Smarties, which in Canada are kind of like M&Ms, not powder.
Just don't kill me, okay?
Tastes like ramen. Oh, there's number 3. Do you guys live up there?